Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Ari, and I'm one of the co-chairs of Outlaw this year. And on behalf of the board, welcome to the 2025 Outlaw Alumni Reception. Before we get started, I want to thank Alyssa and the rest of the Alumni Affairs team for putting together this event, as well as the students, caterers, and facility staff for their work tonight. And just a quick note, the bathrooms outside are gender neutral, so use whichever one you prefer. We are so grateful and happy to once again bring together students and alumni and community, and to be able to celebrate one of our many extraordinary alumni, Rachel Cafele, for her tireless advocacy on behalf of LGBTQ people literally across the world. Given the political moment, it is more important than ever that schools stand by and invest in their affinity groups and embrace the power of diversity in all its forms. Organizations like Outlaw provide a space where students can both process shared experiences in challenging new environments like law school and also learn from our differences. They serve as a vital source of community where people can make lasting bonds. I think the number of alums that came out tonight from different generations is a testament to that. Closely tied to embracing difference is freedom of speech, and I hope schools like NYU protect their students as the current administration threatens them because of their beliefs, advocacy, or citizenship status. I want to acknowledge that this is a dark time for many people in our community, but particularly those of us in the trans community who are being attacked at every angle. It goes without saying that trans people are not invisible, gender-affirming care is vital, trans women are not a threat, and there is no one correct way to be queer. As always, the current government is finding a minority group to blame for problems that were caused by powerful people it protects and serves. That is why it is critical we stand in solidarity with marginalized people everywhere because we are stronger together. This is not the first time queer and trans people have been targeted by the government, and it will not be the last. But it is by being in community and taking care of each other that we overcome adversity. A mentor of mine recently gave me this quote, which is, "Waves will come and cause damage, but they cannot stop the tide, and we are the tide." So I hope everyone enjoys the evening, and I'll pass it off to Dean McKenzie.
So thank you everyone for being here this evening, for being here at this alumni reception. I want to say a few words before I turn the microphone over to Ian to introduce our honoree this evening. When I joined this faculty in 2007, one of the first things that I remember, and it was a vivid memory to pick up on what was just said, was the dean at the time, Ricky Revesz, engaging broadly with a group of other law schools who were fighting the don't ask, don't tell policy through litigation that went all the way to the Supreme Court. And at the time, it was something that was not unusual in the sense that NYU, since 1978, had made it clear that any employer coming to the law school to interview had to abide by the non-discrimination policy of the law school, which included non-discrimination based on race, gender, religion, national origin, disability, and also sexual orientation. NYU was actually the first law school to add sexual orientation. And today is a very challenging time once again. There is an attack on communities, an attack on higher education. The attack on higher education is in part because of the role that schools have played in society and in recognizing and protecting broadly diversity. 2 years ago, after the Supreme Court's decision in Students for Fair Admissions, I said to the broader community and I said to our trustees, to unanimous approval, that the law may change, and we obviously will comply with the law, but our values have not changed. And it is important for us, and universities in many ways are the last remnants of medieval communities, but it is important for us, all of us within this community, to explain what our values are and to make it clear that those values do not change, regardless of other changes that might happen in places outside of the university. And this gathering tonight is a testament to that, is a source of both strength and direction and recognition. And we are extremely fortunate to have with us Rachel Cafelli to be honored this evening, Director of Programs and Advocacy at Oasis Legal Services. I will leave it to Ian to introduce Rachel in a moment, but I just want to say how extremely proud we are to count Rachel among our distinguished alumni. And I really want to thank her for being here this evening, and especially for her tireless work and leadership. Right before the program began, I spoke to her about the fact that she graduated in a year when there was great uncertainty. In the middle of the global financial crisis, her class of 2010, had many students who were walking into a world where their employment and their future was in question. And that was a moment of challenge and a moment of uncertainty. And I very much remember going to convocation either that year or the year after, and the dean, Ricky at the time, said very boldly and almost happily, "This is a great time to be a lawyer. There is no better time to be a lawyer." And there was sort of a gasp when he said that, and he explained that in moments of uncertainty, in moments of challenge, those who have the privilege of a legal education can use that education as a tool to effect change out in the world. There are many different ways of effecting change in the world. Being active, being vocal, all of those are important. But lawyers and those trained with the tools of the law have a special obligation and privilege to effect change. So at times of uncertainty, at times of challenge, in the darkest times, people are going to turn to lawyers, and it is up to us to use our talents and our experiences to effect change. I note, by the way, that one of the only forums in which there has been sustained challenge to what's happening right now in Washington has been in the courts. And that's not an accident. It is very much a statement about the role of the law. One final note, we have been very lucky to honor recent alums, including Shauna Konishnik, Julie Fink, Christine Sun. This community here at NYU has produced extraordinary alumni who have made us truly proud. So with that, I will now turn things over to Ian, who will introduce our honoree this evening.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ian Leach. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm the former political action chair of Outlaw here at NYU Law. It's my distinct pleasure to introduce Rachel Cafelli, a passionate advocate and dedicated attorney committed to defending immigrant and queer communities. Rachel is the founder and current director of programs and advocacy at Oasis Legal Services, where she helps provide both high-quality and thoughtful immigration legal services to queer immigrants. Rachel's career has been defined by a deep commitment to justice. Before helping found Oasis, she practiced immigration law at the East Bay Sanctuary Covenant, leading the LGBTQ and HIV asylum program there. She also mentored pro bono attorneys and law students along the way. She also spent 3 years as an assistant public defender in Miami-Dade, defending children and adults in the criminal legal system. Rachel's passion for advocacy is clear and runs very deep. She was born and raised in the East Bay and comes from a family of activists that have been dedicated to fighting the impacts of U.S. imperialism and white supremacy. Under her leadership as the current director of programs and advocacy, Oasis has embraced a holistic approach to legal advocacy for queer immigrants, integrating things like social services alongside legal representation to ensure that queer immigrants don't just win their cases, but also have the resources to rebuild their lives with dignity and security. And at a time when the rights of queer people, when the rights of trans people in particular, when the rights of immigrants are currently being attacked by the Trump administration, having thoughtful, competent representation that understands the unique needs of the queer and immigrant community is critical. And beyond this just being an intuitive approach to how one should proceed with immigration law, it's also borne out in the data from OASIS, of which Rachel directs. As of last year, OASIS boasts a 99% success rate in affirmative asylum cases, which is something really, really huge and is a huge honor to that. Now, it's also a unique honor to get to introduce Rachel because after my 1L year, she was my boss. I found Rachel to be an empathetic and kind leader, and she taught me, a bumbling 1L, while patiently letting me grow and learn, and I will be a better attorney for having worked with her. So please join me in congratulating Rachel Cafele.
Thank you, everyone. It brings so many memories back to be here at the law school. Two of my best friends from law school are actually here with me, and we met, I think, during law school orientation on the first day, and then we're friends ever since. I haven't actually been to the law school since I moved away from New York to become a lawyer, so it feels really special to be back here. As a student or as an alumni, I would always read those articles in the NYU magazine or go to talks on campus and see all these amazing things that alumni had done and think that's so cool. I don't think that'll ever be me. So I was extremely surprised when I got an email from Alyssa at our general email for OASIS saying, "To whom it may concern, I'm trying to track down Rachel Cafele. She's not writing me back." So I guess all of her emails were going to my spam and not trying to bring me joy in my life. So I'm really glad she was persistent and found me. So thank you so much. I'm really, really grateful for this award. Thank you, Outlaw. Thank you, Dean McKenzie. Thank you, Ian, Sean, and Ari. Thank you all for giving me the chance to spotlight the work we do at OASIS and our incredible clients. We opened OASIS Legal Services in 2017. We were a group of 4 women who saw the need to celebrate and have a space to celebrate queer and trans resilience, to honor what our clients had been through and honor their struggles and achievements. We wanted to provide a safe and affirming space for LGBTQ+ immigrants to explore what it is to be themselves and to get the legal help they need to experience safety as a queer or trans person. For so many of our clients, the first time they ever feel comfortable saying that they are part of the LGBTQ community is in our office during their first appointment with us. By helping our clients apply for immigration status, a work permit, a social security number, to reunite with their family members, and having social workers on staff who can connect them to medical and mental health care, benefits, and other wraparound services, we get to witness powerful transformations. As part of the asylum process, our clients have to tell painful stories over and over again and talk about things they just want to forget in order to prove that they should be allowed to stay in the United States. Their lives and stories and identities get scrutinized and dissected and cross-examined. But when our clients receive asylum, it is truly transformative. They feel safe and accepted. They have taken these really, really hard moments, the persecution they have experienced for being LGBT, and use those hard moments to advocate for themselves and their humanity and their worth. To get to witness and be part of that transformation for so many queer and trans folks has truly been amazing. After winning asylum, our clients start families, open businesses, and create incredible art that they share with the world. They go back to school and become teachers and nurses, therapists, journalists, and even lawyers. They advocate on behalf of their communities and work to make the world a better place. They do not give up hope, and that helps me to not give up hope. To date, OASIS has served over 2,500 clients in asylum, lawful permanent residency, and naturalization cases. We also help our clients apply for relief as survivors of domestic violence and petition to be reunited with family members. Over 600 of our clients have won asylum, but we have over 900 clients who are still waiting for our broken immigration system to hear their case. The well-being of our staff is another reason why we opened OASIS. Not only did we want to create a safe and affirming space for clients, but we also wanted to create a home for those of us who care deeply about LGBTQ immigrants and asylum seekers, especially for those of us who are part of those communities and have lived experiences in common. We knew from past experience that working in public interest law is really hard. Legal services nonprofits are always underfunded, and the work is always undervalued. It is a constant hustle to fundraise, apply for grants, and convince funders that we are worth it and are doing good work. So we thought, let's build something together that's better. Let's build a place where it actually feels good to do the work so that our daily practice of serving clients who have experienced unimaginable trauma doesn't lead to burnout. Let's actually talk about vicarious trauma, how it affects us, and the work we do with our clients and our lives outside of our work, our kids, our partners, and our families. How do we make representing vulnerable, under-resourced, and underserved communities sustainable? After I graduated NYU, I worked for 3 years as a public defender in Miami, like Ian mentioned. After about a week and a half of training, we got our courtroom assignments. I was to start in juvenile court representing children accused of crimes. I get to court early on my first morning, and my boss hands me a large stack of files and says, "It's your trial day, and all these cases are scheduled to go to trial, and you should be ready in about an hour." So I didn't know whether to laugh or cry, so I did a little both, and I will never forget the feeling of feeling completely unprepared and that I was going to let my clients down. So those 3 years as a public defender were really hard. They were really extremely long days of being in court, preparing for trial, doing depositions, visiting clients in jail, and trying to stay on top of a huge caseload. As public defenders, we interacted with people who had and were continuing to experience trauma all day long, but the idea that this trauma could affect us as lawyers was foreign and not talked about. There was no understanding of the idea of vicarious trauma and the impact on an individual of being continually exposed to others' experiences of trauma and violence. I didn't have the language or understanding to articulate what was happening to me emotionally, and even if I had, I would have been scared to talk about it because I didn't want to seem weak or that I couldn't handle the pressure. That was going to be a surefire way to not get promoted and to miss out on getting assigned interesting cases. So really opening OASIS was the chance to change all of this, to recognize that us lawyers and others doing the work are also important and deserve support. At OASIS, we believe that we have a duty to support our clients, but also our staff. We want to make sure that those who do the work and want to do the work, especially those who share the lived experiences of our clients, can do this work for as long as they want to and not burn out. And then lastly, kind of the third thing that we have our mission for is to make sure that trauma-informed lawyering is not just a cool thing to do, but is the guiding principle behind everything that we do. And this is the part where I'm going to talk about how grateful I am that I went to NYU Law, because that's where I learned about trauma-informed lawyering, and that's how I learned how to be a trauma-informed lawyer. So we probably weren't using those exact words yet, because I graduated 15 years ago at this point, but the idea and philosophy was there in my first year lawyering program, and in the chance I got to be a part of the groundbreaking legal clinics and work with innovative organizations like the Neighborhood Defender Service of Harlem and Make the Road. I feel so lucky that I got to have professors like Tony Amsterdam and Tony Thompson who taught me about how not to just zealously represent clients, but also to empower the clients and communities that I work with. How storytelling has a huge place in the work we do as lawyers, and using our clients' words, experiences, and getting to know who they are and where they come from is the first step in mounting a strong case. So now turning to the present, where do we even start? What a time to be in public interest law, to be an immigration lawyer serving LGBTQ folks, especially trans, non-binary, and intersex clients. This administration's tactics are really transparent. They want to sow fear, panic, and scapegoat using racist, xenophobic, and transphobic rhetoric, all to distract from the real acts of consolidating and limiting wealth and resources to a select few in a manner that completely disregards the wellness of people and planet. In the classic fight or flight pattern that we learn about when we practice trauma-informed lawyering, many of us are now in survival mode. And study after study reveals that when the human mind is preoccupied with surviving, there is little room for ingenuity, creativity, or imagination, which are arguably critical elements for a thriving society and thriving human beings. At OASIS, we feel the collective anxiety and fear of our immigrant and LGBTQ communities in response to the administration's dehumanizing and dangerous attacks which seek to diminish our humanity and sense of safety. At OASIS, we usually receive about 7 to 10 new inquiries a day from prospective clients. Since November 2024, this number has nearly tripled. We spent November through January filing as many asylum cases as we could to keep as many people as we can safe from deportation. We daily feel the pressure of needing to do more while also balancing being there for our clients, our families, and our loved ones. So I want to share what is keeping me going and what is keeping me motivated to not give up and to harness the pain and anger I feel into action. So besides tapping into the resilience of my clients, it's that at this moment, I feel really proud to be a lawyer. So I'm kind of echoing what Dean McKenzie said. It's us lawyers who are helping to fight back against this administration's attacks on the law, our Constitution, and our shared values. And I'm really proud of the LGBTQ and immigrant-serving organizations and individuals who are standing up and coming forward to be plaintiffs in these lawsuits in order to protect our collective rights. It's because of immigrant and LGBTQ folks and the organizations that support them that we are keeping incarcerated people safe and protecting their right to remain housed with people of their same gender. We have protected the principle of birthright citizenship. We are keeping alive the basic human right of asylum seekers at the southern border to apply for asylum. We are trying to stop the expansion of fast-track deportations and the imprisonment of migrants at Guantanamo Bay. We are demanding that people continue to have access to identity documents like passports that match their gender identity and that youth and adults can safely access gender-affirming medical care. We are standing up to abuses of power, the illegal firing of federal workers, and the rights of trans people to serve in the military. The memes about January being the longest month of the year definitely hit a little differently this time around. These past 30 days have felt like 5 lifetimes. They have been a roller coaster of emotions. But let's lean into the privilege we have as law students and lawyers to understand how to use the law to protect the people, communities, and ideas that we care deeply about. This is truly the moment we can make a difference, and I'm very grateful for everyone in this room who is doing just that. Thank you so much for this award. It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sean. I'm one of the co-chairs of Outlaw. I just wanted to say thank you all so much for coming tonight. Huge thank you to Rachel for that incredible speech. I think one more round of applause for her. I really like that you touched on kind of what keeps you going. I think that, at least for me, when I'm feeling burnt out or hopeless or really frustrated with the world, which, as we probably all are right now, one thing that keeps me going is just hearing about the amazing work that others are doing, like Rachel, and letting myself have hope that there are people out there bettering the world around us and feeling inspired myself to do so as well. So just another huge thanks to Rachel, not just for all your work, but also for actually coming here and just sharing it with us, and for taking the time to come speak with us. And both Ari and Rachel touched on this, but I do really want to echo it. It sounds really cheesy, but I really do believe one of the things that we have that's really important in life is each other. Law school in the world can be incredibly frustrating, to say the least. What's gotten me through it is largely this community, my friends, my fellow board members, my mentors, professors, peers, everyone in Outlaw and in the broader community. I think these are really the people that color our lives and make the work that we do worthwhile. I think what's so amazing about Rachel's story is the fact that she saw some of us in the community were left behind and actually created a space for our community to address that. And not just for clients, but also for public interest lawyers, which is incredible. And I think this is the exact type of care that it'll take to get us through the next few years. At the end of the day, I think we are the ones that will protect each other. And at least I am personally starving, so I don't want to take too much of your time. So again, thank you all for coming tonight, for showing up, for being part of our community. Thank you to the NYU staff for helping set up this event. Thank you all for being a part of Outlaw, and please enjoy the reception. That's all.